All right. Sige. How much do you need for e-surf in 1 year? Typically, more or less yan.
I would say if we can increase it to 500, hindi na kami mabibigla. Hindi na kami mabibigla. Because, depende, Mr. Chair, eh. I mean, pag medyo tinamaan ng sobrang serious, kahit yung 500, malalapnos eh, mauubos. But definitely, yun naman, hindi naman namin kailangan ibigay kagad in tranches namin binibigay. So, pinakikiusapan lang ng, ang mahirapan lang doon, yung mga nagpautang na suppliers na nagbigay ng mga materyales. Napapakiusapan naman sila.
But ang concept kasi niyan, quick response eh.
That's right. That's
para
right,
yung
Mr. Chair.
EC makabalik ka agad. Tuwing may bagyo naman, ang EC tinatamaan din eh. No? In fact, sila yung one of the casualties, mga EC. Bagsak
First casualties eh. Well, frontliner sila, Mr. Chair.
Bagsak yung mga poste, bagsak yung mga wiring. So, the first thing that the residents want, mabalik yung kuryente. Pero
That's
hindi
true.
naman nila mabalik yung kuryente kung walang pang-repair.
But with the present program, Mr. Chair of DEA, we established a regional procurement hub in every region. So there was a timely response, a quick response, because all major items like the steel poles, the conductors, and distribution transformers were delivered to Masbate in a span of 2 to 3 days.
Mr. Chair, like kasi I do support the increase of their quick response fund kasi dapat kasi nauuna talaga yung electricity doon eh. Otherwise, the hospitals won't go. Lahat, all the relief operations, hindi makakagalaw kung wala. Kaya dapat ready na sila to go the day after ng calamity. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We'll work on that. Pag umiikot rin ako pag after the calamity, talagang yan request ng tao. Kailan babalik ang kuryente? Pero maraming bagsak kasing mga poste. So,
That's true, Mr.
and the
Chair.
co-ops nakatali yung kanilang working capital. So, it's a way to help the co-ops without passing on the cost to the consumers.
Just to emphasize the point, like Masbate, even the evacuation centers, the control command center, and even cash, Mr. Chair, walang cash doon dahil walang electricity. So it was difficult for them to really start the operations at that time. So kaya nagpapanik din kami pag nadidelay ang mga tao na tutulong from the other co-ops.
All right. Thank you for that. Senator JV, who has also questions to the energy sector.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nice to see you still here. I came from the Coast Guard anniversary with the President. Kaya umalis muna ako. Pagbalik ko, dito pa rin kayo. So, nice to see all of you again. Anyway, just siguro, no, I asked this question to the Secretary when she, during her confirmation, just like to get the DOE's position. Of course, yung EPIRA, no? I asked if we can get yung inyo pong suggestions. Which provisions, I'm sure that most of you will agree already by this time that we really need to amend the EPIRA law. Now, we just passed in 2001 with very good intention to lower down the cost of electricity by encouraging competition, by privatizing napocor power plants, transmission lines, distribution system. Ang nangyari po, natuloy yung napocor power plants privatization, privatization of the transmission lines. Ang di lang natuloy, pagbaba ng presyo. Di ba? Lahat ng privatization natuloy. Pero yung inaasahan natin na competition supposedly to lower down the cost of electricity, hindi po nangyari. So, which particular provisions would you think that you would propose to this committee so that we can already start the ball rolling and amend the EPIRA law, which again, has not really served well its intended purpose? Sige, Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a draft of the possible amendments. The first, there are several parts in the EPIRA, and it divides it per sector of the industry. Na. So, first my priority was the PSALM extension, which is done already, and second would be the ERC strengthening, not per se in the reorganization of ERC, but streamlining their processes and also giving it teeth. Kasi like the question by the chairman earlier, what are the penalties that have been given to NGCP, for example, for any violations and the delay? So they are limited as to I think only 5 million pesos per violation. So we are trying to increase that, and also in addition to the increases in the penalties, not only monetary but also in the number of imprisonment. Also that any penalties that are collected from any of the violations of the power players will be considered by ERC to be as possible refund to our consumers. But the part on ERC, Mr. Chair, I would rather have ERC expound on that kasi sila yung main concern dyan eh. But
Sige po,
yes, sir.
Yes, yeah, she si
Okay,
REC chairperson after secretary. Sige po.
And then-
Tapusin lang ni Sir.
Yes, sir. So before ERC, I'll just go through the major changes on the generation side. Ano yung generation side changes? And we want more accountability on the part of the generation on their performance. For example, if the contract says you have to deliver 10 megawatts, and some, unfortunately, there are some generation companies that only deliver half of that, there is no substantial penalty or accountability. So gusto namin i-strengthen yan. Transmission, separation of the... Ang NGCP kasi ngayon, isa lang yan eh. Transmission, sila yung nagpapatayo, tapos sila nag-ooperate. We want it separated. And then on the distribution, hindi ko na maalala. Anong distribution natin? There's also more provisions on the distribution. I don't want to go to all of that, but we can submit it to the chairman and also to Senator Ejercito. All the provisions that we have we are proposing, we can submit it in portions or as a whole, Mr. Chair. Pero ready na po kami if we want to submit with for you to sponsor, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I will be willing. I'm sure our chair would likewise be willing, as the former chair of the Committee on Energy. No, anything that would really bring down the cost of electricity, because I think siguro sa ASEAN, no, we are losing to our foreign direct investors, because of two things: poor infrastructure and high cost of electricity. So if we can really do something about this at the soonest possible time, then we will have a better chance against our ASEAN neighbors.
Mr. Chair, one proposal of Senator Marcoleta is to remove the VAT. It can also be incorporated in the EPIRA, although it is a more controversial topic. It might be more prudent kung separate bill siya. But it can also be an option. We can also incorporate it in the proposal, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Siguro si RC Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just for the record, we were able to impose penalties on NGCP for its delayed CAPEX. There were around 34 CAPEX projects that got delayed. So we were able to impose 15.8 million. But as the Secretary has stated, there may be already a need to...
In a span of how many years po yan, Chairman?
It was a one time. There were two cases. One time, it involved 34 projects. But as the Secretary has stated, there may already be a need to update the fines and penalties that may be imposed. pursuant to EPIRA under Section 46. Then we of course support the pending bills in Congress for ERC strengthening. We have gone through the different versions of the bill. In particular, for ERC's strengthening, we support fully the proposals for at least a partial use of the income or the excess revenues collected out of the imposition of regulatory fees, and as well as the creation of that consumer advocate. That is also a feature of several of the bills that we were able to study. I believe that with consumer representation, there would be a better discussion of the issues that are presented before the Commission, and so we can come out with better decisions.
Thank you for that. I'll take advantage. The Secretary mentioned NGCP and the Chairman also, Chairman Juan, no? Meron po in question kasi dito, galing sa media natin. Take advantage ko na, Mr. Chair. Gandang tanghali, boss. Baka pwede pong mapa-update sa DOE NAPOCOR, pwede NAPOCOR, dito naman si Chairman Jericho, is the DOE still considering taking back the operations of the country's whole grid system, NGCP? Thanks, boss. For security, for issues of national security.
Mr. Chair, I do agree that there has to be a certain degree of control of the government, not just for national security though. What happened was we gave a franchise for the entire grid system, and if you really read through the concession agreement and the franchise, the government has no powers over, very limited authority. For example, kung
So what I remember also, I was conferring with our chairman, DOE one time, if I remember it right, tried to go and inspect, and you were not even allowed by NGCP, and yung Transco,
papaalam muna kami.
nagpaalam pa sa sarili nating
Mr. Chair.
no, parang may mali, di ba?
So,
Ang concern lang natin doon, of course, with, if everything was normal, especially with the precarious situation in the West Philippine Sea, for a fact that big share is owned by the State Grid Corporation of China. Yun ang worry namin dito, no? Na with one flick of a switch, baka pwede tayo maparalyze, Sana, yun yung mga, those are the things that hopefully will not happen, no?
Mr. Chair, I would like to expound on that. For example, NGCP's budget per year is about, I can't remember na. The earnings would be about 20 billion a year, and that's less the cost of capital outlay that they do, no? Which means it's a huge budget per year to construct all this infrastructure. This is not from my research, but based on the hearings in the House of Representatives, and most of the construction that is done are actually by non-Filipino construction firms, meaning the money that is being paid by our consumers so that NGCP can fund this construction are being used for materials and people from outside, Mr. Chair. So in that sense, you're correct that there is no security and the money does not go back to the economy of the Philippines. So that's one danger there also, and that was expounded on during the hearing in the House of Representatives, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you for that. So we'll just wait. And anyway, we'll be willing to sponsor amendments to the APIRA law. Sad to say, no, sabi na alala ko, 2000, that was 2001, just 6 months after the assumption of the GMA administration. Talagang pinasbreak, di ba? Mura pa noon ng tag-isang envelope lang. Di ba? Para lang maipasa ito. Ay, nako. Tapos buong buhay nating pinagdudusahan, no? Yung 500,000 para mabigay yung ewan ko, totoo yun. 'Di ba? Parang buong buhay natin pinagdurusahan, 'di ba? So hopefully we can make amendments and at least correct a wrong that was done before.
Mr. Chair, it can also be done through a review or amendment of the franchise of NGCP. It can be done through EPIRA or maybe more effectively through the franchise. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Senator JB, before we move to another topic, because this is a very important issue, but I was surprised to hear from Secretary na hindi pa done deal yung Maharlika deal because